Hello students, you know we are studying the properties of the cardiac muscle, and in our previous lecture we studied first four properties. Already we studied what is excitability, autorhythmicity, conductivity and contractility. Today we'll continue with the remaining properties. First, all or none law, long refractory period and staircase phenomenon. So see the we'll see the slides. We studied the excitability in our previous lecture. What is excitability, and under excitability how the impulse or how the action potential is produced in cardiac muscle, that is a plateau potential, and what is depolarization, what is a plateau potential and repolarization, phases of action potential we studied. Okay, and second property also we studied autorhythmicity. What is autorhythmicity? In this property we studied how the cardiac impulse is produced by pacemaker cell automatically and rhythmically. So also we studied automatically and rhythmically means here it is automatic, and rhythmically means the impulse are coming after certain gap, that is a gap between two impulses is certain. Okay, that is called the rhythmicity. Okay, we studied here there we also studied what channels are involved in the generation of the cardiac impulse. This is a diagram, and this it gives the information about the mechanism of generation of the impulse in SA node. That is how the impulse is produced in the SA node, and how this rhythmicity is maintained. Also, this slide is sometimes there is in your spots. You know, if you see in the exam, the one of the spot is this slide, and the question is asked. Just comments on it. Means compare and contrast the pacemaker potential and ventricular potential. ये दोनों एक्शन पोटेंशियल में क्या डिफरेंस है? इट्स पेसमेकर पोटेंशियल एंड वेंट्रिकुलर मसल और कार्डियक मसल पोटेंशियल, दैट इज अ प्लेटो पोटेंशियल. दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस है? तो डिफरेंस यू हैव टू मेनली मेंशन इन योर आंसर. So when you are writing, so what you have to write first, this one is it is called the pacemaker potential, or it is called the plateau potential. Here only two types of the channels are involved, that is slow calcium sodium channels and potassium channels are involved in the pacemaker potential. Here three types of the channels are involved, that is a fast sodium channel, it causes the fast depolarization, which is followed by the slow calcium sodium channels, which it causes the plateau, and after plateau there is a repolarization, that is a potassium channels open. So three types of the channels involved. So in this way you have to write down the difference between plateau potential and pacemaker potential in this slide, because there is a one spot in your practical exam. Okay, then students, also in our previous lecture we studied the conductivity, how the impulse is conducted. Okay, so we discussed that impulse is produced here, then sequence of the current flow, how it spread over the atria, then same impulse it enters through the bundle of his to the ventricular side, then through the left bundle branch, right bundle branch, it spread over the ventricle and it causes the contraction of ventricle. So how the impulse is conducted we studied in our previous lecture. Okay, then in contractility students we studied how the muscle it contracts. Okay, so contraction, then what terminologies involved under the contraction? So there is isometric contraction and isotonic contraction. So what is isometric contraction? We studied in isometric contraction the length of the muscle remains same, but there is increase in tone, and in isotonic contraction here the tone remains same but there is change in length, that is there is a shortening of muscle. So heart shows, that is particularly ventricle shows two types of the contraction. So isometric contraction followed by the isotonic contraction. Okay, then heart also shows this law, that is a Frank-Starling's law. And what is a Frank-Starling's law? The definition is very simple. If the initial length of the muscle is more, there is more contraction, and initial length of the muscle it increases due to the accumulation of the blood in the ventricle. If there is a more accumulation of the blood, that is called the end diastolic volume, there is more stretching of the muscle and muscle it contracts more, that is by the Frank-Starling's law. Okay, then also we studied the Laplace's law, and the Laplace's law, it is not a normal, it is not normally it is applied. It comes into the picture when there is a problem in the heart, particularly when there is a dilatation of the ventricle. And according to the Laplace's law, when there is a dilatation of the ventricle, here it leads into the less contraction of the ventricle, there is decrease in cardiac output. Otherwise, normally Frank-Starling's law plays its role and it increases force of contraction or cardiac output. We studied. Also, we studied in our previous lecture, that is what is a preload on the heart and what is afterload on the heart. The preload on the heart is end diastolic volume, and the afterload on the heart is aortic pressure and pulmonary artery pressure, which acts on the heart when the heart starts the contract, or when it begins to contract, when heart begins to contract. Okay, now today in this lecture we have to continue with the all or none law. So heart shows this very important property, and you know heart is continuously working organ. It works throughout the life, and what is the special in the heart, that heart, it allows the heart to work throughout the life with the rate of 70 to 80 beats per minute. Okay, so these are the properties, very important, all or none law. Then next property, long refractory period. Because of these properties, the what is the significance of these properties to the heart? The significance is that it allows the heart to work without stopping throughout the life, and because of this, a very important significance or advantage to the heart. So what is all or none law? I told that here where heart it contracts as a whole or it does not. Heart 100% contracts hota hai or there is no contraction at all. That is a simple all or none law. When a stimulus is applied, the stimulus means if we applied the artificial stimulus to the frog's heart, or when the impulse is produced by the pacemaker cell, so whatever the source of impulse, that stimulus, if it is applied to the cardiac muscle, there is maximum response. That means whole heart it contracts or does not at all. That is called the all or none law. Okay, simply the contraction occur only when the strength of the stimulus is at threshold level. Okay, so we apply this stimulus, that means stimulus should be adequate. Adequate stimulus means threshold stimulus. If the strength of the stimulus is less than threshold, what is threshold stimulus? The threshold का definition है, it is a minimum strength of the stimulus which is required to cause the contraction of heart. Okay, for example मैं देता हूँ, heart, if the threshold stimulus is 10 millivolt, okay, for example, the heart will contract only when the strength of the stimulus is 10 millivolt. If the strength of the stimulus is 9 millivolt, then there is no contraction at all. Okay, 10% भी नहीं और 5% भी नहीं, heart does not contract. Okay, so heart contracts only when it gets the threshold stimulus. So here, so we can say that heart contracts as a whole when the strength of the stimulus is at the threshold. Okay, but if the strength of the stimulus is less than the threshold, that is called the sub-threshold stimulus, then heart does not contract at all. Okay, now next example, if the strength of the stimulus is more than the threshold, that is called the supra-threshold stimulus, then also we get the same contraction or same force of the contraction what we get at the threshold stimulus. Okay, so this is the meaning of the all or none law, and it is very advantageous to the heart because this property, it prevents the heart from unnecessary contraction and from unnecessary loss of the energy. It prevents the loss of the energy and prevents the heart from the inadequate contraction or less contraction. Only heart it contracts when the stimulus is adequate and there is a contraction of 100% or whole heart it contracts. Okay, so if you see the advantage or if you see the importance this property, we can say that force of contraction does not depends on the strength of the stimulus. It depends on the initial length of the muscle. So what is the meaning of this sentence? If you increase the strength of the stimulus more than the threshold, there is no use. Heart जितना contracts होना है उतना ही contracts होता है when it contracts as the threshold also or supra threshold also. But the initial length it works. That according to the Frank Starling's law, if we stretch the muscle, if there is more accumulation of the blood and increase the initial length, then heart it contracts more. There is increase in contraction. But आपने अगर stimulus strength of the stimulus increase किया तो heart का ज़्यादा contraction नहीं होता. But accumulation of the blood is more, then heart it contract vigorously. That is also one of the important point regarding all or none law. Okay, so we'll continue next slide. Students, this property, and perhaps it is very important, it can be asked for short question, describe long refractory period of the heart. So first, why it is called the long, why the word long it comes, because if the refractory period it is compared with the skeletal muscle, it is long in the heart. Okay, in the heart it is about 450 to 350 millisecond in the heart, and if you compare it with the skeletal muscle, it is just about 10 to 20 or below the 10 millimeter the milliseconds. Okay, if you compare with the skeletal muscle, so that's why it is called the long. Now what is the meaning of refractory period? Refractory period is the period in which the muscle does not show any response to the next stimulus. Okay, so try to understand. I will explain in simple words that what is a refractory period. It is a period, period of cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle मतलब cardiac cycle में क्या होता है? There is a contraction and relaxation. जो period है contraction और relaxation का, उसमें एक certain period है, दोनों मिलके एक सर्टन पीरियड है. उसमें अगर आपने अगर पहला स्टिमुलस देखे कार्डियक साइकिल शुरू हो गई, you are given the first stimulus and heart starts contracting and relaxing. First there is a contraction and relaxation, और बीच में आपने second stimulus दिया तो certain period is there during which heart does not give the response to the second stimulus. Okay, and that period is called the refractory period. Okay, so this is a definition. Now this refractory period is again divided into two types: absolute refractory period and relative refractory period. So what is the absolute refractory period? It is a period of action potential or the period of the cardiac cycle. Okay, so it is a period of cardiac cycle में क्या आता है? Contraction and relaxation. And if you see, it is a period of action potential. तो action potential में क्या आता है? Depolarization and repolarization. So it is a period of action potential during which the muscle does not show any response, what may be the strength of the stimulus. Okay, so here what is the cause of absolute refractory period? Okay, so it is a period of depolarization during which second depolarization is not possible. Okay, so you try to understand, students. Suppose you are given the first stimulus and depolarization it starts. Okay, जब तक वो depolarization एंड नहीं होता, मतलब कंप्लीट होके एंड नहीं होता, तब तक सेकेंड डिपोलराइजेशन इज नॉट पॉसिबल. एंड ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड इफ यू अप्लाई द नेक्स्ट स्टिमुलस, second stimulus, then it will be ineffective, no use, because already depolarization is there, already sodium channels are open, already diffusion of the sodium ions start, and in between if you apply the next stimulus, then it is in vain, there is no use. That period is called absolute refractory period. Okay, so in this period, here you can see that this is the what refractory period. So during this period, if you apply the next stimulus, there is no contraction. It's called the refractory period. But after the end of this period, that is a relative refractory period, then absolute refractory period. This is the absolute refractory period. So there is no use of the second stimulus. But what is a relative refractory period? So next, this part is a relative refractory period. Okay, and see what is this relative refractory period. See in this the relative refractory period, it is a period of the action potential during which the muscle shows a response if the strength of the stimulus is maximum. Okay, means after depolarization there is a repolarization, and during repolarization, if you apply the increased strength of the stimulus, then second depolarization is possible. Okay, so means there is बीच में ही depolarization आ जाता है, but it is after the first depolarization. Okay, so simply we can say that after the end of depolarization, during the repolarization, if we apply the second stimulus, then second depolarization is possible. Okay, so this is called the refractory period, long refractory period. And what is the significance? Now coming to the significance, what is the advantage of this property to the heart? Okay, from significance you can try to understand. So first significance is summation of contraction does not occur. Second significance, fatigue does not occur in the heart. Third advantage, tetanus, that is spasm or tetanus, there is no complete tetanus in the heart. Heart cannot be thrown into the complete tetanus. What is tetanus? Tetanus means sustained state of the contraction. So heart में आपने कभी नहीं देखा कि वहाँ spasm हो गया या tetanus हो गया. Okay, there is no fatigue in the heart. Okay, and there is no summation of the contractions. Okay, so due to the refractory period, हार्ट को अगर बीच में ऐसा कभी कभी in some abnormal condition में, if you see in clinical condition, sometimes pacemaker get irritated due to the infection or whatever the cause, and starts generating the abnormal number of the impulses more than the normal. So if even this number of the impulses is increased than the normal, or more than very high increase in generation of the impulses, that these impulses are ineffective because those fall during the refractory period, they does not affect on the functioning of heart. Okay, so they become the ineffective, and due to this property, it prevents the heart from complete tetanus. Okay, there is no fatigue, there is no tetanus. And why? Because of this property, there is no tetanus in the heart, or there is no complete tetanus in the heart. Okay, students, last property, coming to the staircase phenomenon, it is very simple. And in this diagram, you can see the height of the contraction or the amplitude of this contraction. It is increased for initial few contractions. Okay, here if you see the initially for few contractions, 2, 3, 4 contractions, the height of the contraction is increased, and it's called the staircase phenomenon. Okay, so in the practical, when we are doing the practical on the frog's heart, and if you stimulate the ventricle, okay, so when the ventricle of the frog's heart is stimulated at an interval, the force of contraction increases gradually for first few contraction and then remains same. Okay, so initially for first few contraction, the height of the contraction or the force of the contraction, it increases gradually and then it remains the same, and that is called the staircase phenomenon. So here, why? Because it is due to the favorable condition. It is due to the favorable condition produced by the previous stimulus. जो पहला contraction है, it produces the favorable condition to the next contraction, and the second contraction produces the favorable condition to the next contraction. Like this, it is due to the favorable condition, and this increases the force of contraction. That is called the staircase phenomenon. So what favorable condition? For example, there is increase in temperature due to the first contraction, and if the contraction temperature is increased, contraction होता है तो थोड़ा temperature बढ़ता है. When there is increase in temperature, then it leads into the enzymatic activity in the sarcoplasm, and increase in enzymatic activity, थोड़ा contraction बढ़ जाता है. This is one favorable condition. Second favorable condition can produce by the previous contraction is accumulation of calcium ions in sarcoplasm. If you remember the mechanism of the contraction of the muscle, it occurs due to the release of the calcium ions from sarcoplasmic reticulum into the sarcoplasm, and this calcium ion then acts on the actin filament and it leads into the contraction. This is the normal procedure, but due to the first contraction, calcium ions it releases, and this some calcium ions, this accumulated calcium ions, it helps for the second contraction, because in addition to the second release of calcium ions, first few also accumulated, and if the more the calcium ions in the sarcoplasm, there is increase the height of contraction or increase the force of contraction, and this is called the staircase phenomenon. Okay, so students, up to this point we discuss all 7 properties, and if you have the long question on the properties, you should be able to describe all 7 properties, or some short questions are also popular for you students, like describe any 2 properties, any 4 properties of the cardiac muscle. So any 2 properties for less mark, for 2 or 3 marks, any 4 properties for 5 marks or 7 marks. Okay, so like this, depending on the question, you have to write the answer. Okay, that's all. And if you have any query, you can react me, you can ask me. That's all. Okay, bye student.